no one was dancing in the studio while that was happening. Just so we're all clear. Welcome back to Finding a Toria. If you've made it this far,
4 in.
We're 4 in. This is recording another day, but welcome back. We are glad to have you here. My name is Malcolm O'Stephan. I am in the studio with my other two hosts. We're very, very grateful to have Arcadia and Tori back today.
Hello.
Hello.
A couple of notes and things. You can go out now and find us on Patreon. You definitely can find us
on all the podcatchers.
On all the podcatchers by this point. And what else do we get done?
wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. Listen to our podcast there.
Yeah,
Patreon.
You can actually just find that on our website.
Socials.
Patreon already has bonus material out there.
Yes, it does.
A lot of big things have happened since the last time we talked to you, but none bigger than me shutting up and turning it over to Tori.
Oh, crap. Hold on. Give me a dice.
Which ones?
I need a 20, and you need a 20.
Oh.
We got to roll off.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We got to roll off.
We would never have any structure if we needed that. A D20, we would, yeah. Oh, strong.
17.
I got a 16. You're up in first.
All right.
Okay.
I'm good if you want to go first.
No, I don't really care.
All right.
Arcadia's gonna. What are you? So you guys
she's gonna fight me.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is.
She's gonna fight me.
I'm actually gonna move my microphone back a little bit. We're supposed to be taking.
We're gonna brawl.
Some pictures and video for promotions for the podcast. I think that this would just be fantastic, but I'm just a first level character, so what do I know?
Oh, fuck first level.
Call that a segue.
Yeah.
Segue. All right, Arcadia, jump in.
Yeah. So we are talking today about playing a first level character. So it has been something I've seen out in the community a little bit, and I know Tori and I have talked about it before offline. But it is to the idea of that if you are starting a new character, do you start that character at first level? Or do you jump a few levels and start at 3 or 4? And there's arguments on both sides. And I know that I stand on one side and Tori stands on another. The other.
And I stand outside of the room while this happens.
And I think that is actually not uncommon in the community.
Yeah.
That, it's, and I'm just going to throw out there, there's no right answer, sort of back to what we
this
always
is an
come
opinion.
To. Yeah, it's what works at your table.
Don't have to agree with us.
and I'm just keeping points because it's fun. But go ahead.
So I make the argument that you should be starting at first level. If I'm DMing a table, unless my players are gonna have a crap game if they don't, I would want to start at first level with new characters. My ideas behind that is just for myself as a player. I like the fact that when you are at that first level, you want to create a backstory, you want to know who your character is, but so much of that personality development can happen in game at that point. And so instead of it being a written story, it is a story that is influenced by dice rolls and gameplay. And I think that can make the story more interesting. Tori's nodding at me. I'm sort of impressed.
No, there are reasons for and against.
Absolutely.
While I don't disagree with that there can be a lot of character depth added in those first couple levels, I also am a spoiled rotten player who's been playing for 30 fucking years, and I hate playing a first level character.
And that's a fair point. There is some acknowledgement there that when you've been playing forever, because one of my pros would obviously be that, particularly if you're a new player or playing a new class or, a new race or, species or, something else, learning the character, learning the class, learning all of that.
Of course, I never play a new character
you
class.
never play anything new. And so those first few levels give you that opportunity to learn how that character functions. I feel like welcome.
No, it's a very good point. And one of the things that I wanted to ask was because Arcadia, you kind of brought it forward from the point of I was DMing a game. I would want the. Do you feel the same way as a player? Are you invested the same way? Because there's so many different factors into it, and what you both said already makes sense on the pros and the cons, like high level. But I wonder if it is not as simple as, but we're speaking on the idea of it's the table. If we are at the same table and we have been gaming together for years, we're going to know the characters that we're going to. Do we get the benefit of spending the time in those level 1, level 2 situations? Case can be made, yes, because you have role-playing opportunities, you have things that can inform the game. From my perspective, the negative has always been that you tend to or can have a minimized amount of player fun. If they are seasoned players, they know what they want to do, and they're simply restricted by not being OP yet.
Oh, hush.
I would
that bad.
OP. Oh, hush. I just think that there's something to be said that the game involves first and second level, but the fun kind of begins as a player, and you get to stretch your muscles and flex a little bit at 3.
Picking your subclass is.
So you asked if I would enjoy it as a player. Actually, yeah, I do. And for particularly for what I just said, but like the thought that keeps coming to my mind, and I know we weren't, what were we, level 2, I think maybe, in our first adventure with our Idri,
You were 2.
Nori and Draville, and it's the things like a roll and you roll into the bushes because you don't have
I didn't
all
have
of those.
expertise yet.
Right, exactly.
Or back during like THACO where you roll an 18 and you're like, miss.
Yeah.
No.
Like, and so it's those moments too that are just, I mean, everybody at the table was dying laughing because in a lot of ways we were bumbling oafs. Like no matter how much we know the game, no matter how, skilled our decision making might be because we know the game, the reality is you don't have all those bonuses. You don't have all of that stuff that helps make the player stronger. And so silly shit happens.
And to just push in on that a little bit, we also did an exercise at our table with our characters where we went back to sort of retcon some lore territory and ran characters that we had in second edition
gone past level 20.
We had built up to some very, very powerful. And then we're back there, level failing skill checks right and left. And it's just this idea that it was a chance to play those characters differently, just uniquely for us. I mean, it doesn't really weigh
Nori
into
was
the argument.
nicer.
Yeah.
She was
She
a
was.
little bit nice. Those were hard years between rolling into the bush and taking over the guild.
I mean,
So to keep the conversation going, and I don't want to pivot too hard on it, but what would, I guess, next level, we've kind of decided Katie's going to present the pros of it, then maybe the cons from Tori. What would change your mind? What brings you to the other side of the argument there?
I don't have particularly strong feelings about this. I don't like playing that low. It drives me nuts because some of the mechanics don't kick in yet.
It's
Right.
more fun for you as a player.
Right.
Yeah.
It is and at level 3, you get some of those base abilities that you're going to build all the rest of your shit for your character on. Right?
Absolutely. You get more, depth.
Right. Which you can get leading up. And I'm going to add in here. When you do milestone, if you think about it, do the for the real low levels, do the XP.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They'd be leveling up. You'd be like, first session, everybody roll.
Absolutely.
Or level 2.
And you could do that. Right, especially with seasoned players that are playing together for many years, there is an inkling to almost, hey, we know where we want to be. Let's go ahead and get there and start there. What do you find, Arcadia, that's a negative or that hinders in the game? And the only thing that kind of came to mind for me is handing that new player that
character sheet.
That level 1 character sheet. And I think where you can do damage is if everybody else is that 3 or 4 area and they're like, nope, you've got to catch up with this. You're going to put that person, that player in a unique position.
And I would say as a DM at a table, I would not do that.
We've all kept, whether they're 1 or 2 off, different gens notwithstanding, we've kept our campaign tables similarly,
relatively
right,
similar levels. Yeah, I wouldn't want to bring someone new in as a first level character with a bunch of people at like level 4 or 5.
No.
That specifically would be, I think, a recipe for somebody going, "Nah, this is not for me."
Right. Yeah. I think cons, like same scenario that I brought up, Nori, is our fight in the valley, and Adria almost died. And so the reality is at that level, don't get too attached to your characters, because
I was just back there rolling like we were level 20 something
easily
too.
Die. Your hit points are so low. So a few bad, saves, a few good DM rolls, and through nobody's fault, your character's gone.
And this was something we brought up a little
Somebody died slipping in fish guts at level 1.
Somebody died slipping because guess what?
And you're not going to be able to fucking bring them back.
Yeah.
That is not happening.
You don't have any.
You don't have any money.
You don't have any money.
You don't have the spells.
And it goes back to what we were discussing in another episode about old, the first edition box D&D was so little about combat. There was not the hack and slash, especially at the lower levels. You rolled to get away from things.
Oh,
Can I climb up the tree and survive? If I have to jump, run. Just being able to outrun danger, because that's what you had. And I always equated that with the idea that everybody else around you in those villages, those towns, those game settings is a level 0 NPC.
Right.
That slip in fish guts and die. And when you're just a little bit more professional than that, you probably should be, and I think that it gives depth to the game, doing other shit than pulling your sword out and going, this is what we're here for.
No.
You may want to turn tail and do other stuff.
Well, and that's one of the thoughts that I had too about why I like starting a character there, is because when you have to sit down at that table, you almost are forced to be more resourceful. You have to think.
Sure.
Because unless you just want to go out and die.
Well, yeah, because not seeing the trap at level 4 is this is going to hurt. At level 1, it's
you broke your neck.
New paper, please.
Yeah.
Right. New paper. Over. So
I'd like to bring in this character now, because I have a catalog of characters that will never be played.
And think about it. Yeah, when you would come with your binder, and in the back were the just the ones you haven't run yet.
Yep.
Well, now it's time. Last kind of thought on this that I'll pass to both of you to kind of chew around on is when you do, or let's say in a situation where you do have those level 1 characters, I think that you get for the non-mechanically inclined in the game, you get to have very small dice set applications of spell effects, weapon effects, things that are going to extrapolate and get bigger, but it gives you, I think, a good, and there's a reason why the game's designed that way in some ways, I think, is that you're going to get used to 3d6 before you have to get used to 3d6 plus 1 plus 4 minus 3 but we're at disadvantage. So it
simple
gives
maths.
you, it's a little bit, and I go back to the old 2E grids where you'd go over and
be like, there it is.
E4, you sunk my sorcerer, but and you'd have to find it there, and it was easier to do the math in the dice for your new players at lower levels, maybe.
So that sort of brings to mind Bird. I mean, like we talked on that, we've been playing for forever. So like starting at those lower levels, that whole concept of having to grow and learn isn't quite as necessary. What about switching over to a new version? Like, do you feel that it is more useful or needful then?
Like switching editions?
Yeah.
What about Pathfinder? Did you start out
We started
first level for Pathfinder?
No.
Okay.
I did not, because remember I came in a couple of like a month, 2 months
And I didn't want to
after
take away from
everybody else.
Katie's question, which was, do you think it is switching systems, switching editions?
Pathfinder
and
wasn't
whether
really
it's systems or editions, like it. So we talk a lot about D&D. That's what we play the most, but we do play other games. Do you feel that same like benefit? You would rather start at a higher level, like if you're jumping.
if it is a game that here's the thing. I will say at D&D, I like that jumping off at level 3 thing, that is once again
because of how D&D operates,
because of the way the mechanics work. Now, if we're coming in with a whole shitload of you newbies, I start them at level 1. That's fine. It makes sense because they're not going to know even how the mechanics work to begin with.
And they need those first 2 levels. Absolutely.
So give them something to build on, but then later on be like, you want to start level 3 next campaign? And they'll probably be like, fuck yeah.
Yes,
I got my cool shit then. Like,
right.
But when switching game systems, 1.
Yeah.
If I don't know what I'm playing, 1.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of sense.
If I do not know what I'm playing, 1.
What about, so game systems, what about like say switching from 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 or?
The additions are a different thing, I think, because it's still it's a D20 game. A lot of the other games are not. A lot of them are dice pools or something of that nature.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I just find like my big thing was, I mean, I played in 4 for a little bit. Prior to that, I just was adamantly 2, and then moved to 5.
I went from 2 to Pathfinder to 5.
Yeah. But like how, to your point about subclasses and feats and all of it, like
Pathfinder,
all of that was so different.
Right. So
Pathfinder is, well, at least the first edition, because they're on second now. I haven't peeped the second edition.
okay.
It is what 3.75 isn't what that's the like generally.
Yeah.
It is so fucking. It can be real clunky because it's so math heavy.
Yep.
So heavy.
So I kind of get back to the idea that know your table on this.
Absolutely.
If your people need, some walking through the woods and getting their bearings for the role playing element, for the mechanics element, for the new system element of it.
And the vets, in all honesty, like me, I'll stand down really fucking easily on this one because it's like.
But is it boring for you at the table then? I mean, because that to the know your table. I mean, that's an important piece.
Not really, because I get to watch the newbies.
And I think that you can out role play that. You can out role play boredom. You can slip in fish guts, and that can be constant. You know,
roll
what I mean?
into a bush.
Yeah, when you're not combat heavy because you can't be combat heavy,
Right.
I think other skills are going to come to the forefront on it,
Which is quite the challenge for us as murder hobos.
exactly. And I don't want to shortchange us on time on this, but I know that we have other content to get to. Any last thoughts on running a first level character?
Not a fan, but not opposed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Not a fan.
And I would agree with that for the same as far as starting further on. Like I'm never going to sit down at a table and be like, no. It's got to be level 1.
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
Fuck that. I will never say that. It has to be level 1.
I think Tori would punch me.
I think
Right in the dick.
Yep.
Right in the dick. Oh, did it not work?
Oh, it didn't work. So we'll
Oh,
do it in a
no.
minute. I know.
Sorry, Jess.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. I was gonna. It's gonna.
Whoop-de-doo or whoop-de-shit?
Our newest one.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So yes, the idea of being punched in the dick. Let's go ahead and move on. One of the things that, if I'm moderating, there might have been a break there, but we're not sure about that. At any rate,
Welcome back.
We're still here. It's still Finding Arcadia, and we're going to move forward with the second half of our episode today by inviting our resident spookiestness expert to bring us to the cross section of TTRPG, specifically D&D, and the other podcast world that you dwell in, which is the Spoopernatural.
The Spoopernatural, yeah. And believe it or not, this is funny, and I'll tell you guys why this is funny, and most of our audience will understand why this is funny. Finding Supernatural, like if you look up true supernatural stories for D&D, it's going to give you a shitload of adventures to play. It will not bring you up anything except
Haunted
Reddit.
D&D. Oh, I bet the holes are just deep and grimy.
Yeah, I was like, I can have no proof of any of this shit. What I can do, however, is basically plagiarize myself.
Therefore, not plagiarizing.
Yeah.
I believe you have to cite yourself. But.
Okay, that's fine. I can. My sources for this one
I cite
are
you. You're right there.
two.
Wow, really?
My sources for this are Trendy Lobotomy, and there's 2 episodes, and it's Irvington Cemetery's D&D and Witches, and LARPing gone horribly wrong, and the flowers are still standing.
Nice.
I have to have a problem with this. Did we just lay up sources so easily that you're just like, here's some shit that I once said, ladies and gentlemen? That's pretty impressive. That's fantastic. So, area that's been covered before.
Yeah.
Links in the bio.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, I did a story, and then Chris did a story on Trinity Lobotomy podcast, which is my other podcast. So which one you want, mine or hers first?
Hit us.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, now
Canvas, paint me.
there's 2. Here's the fun part. As you heard in the title of one of those episodes, both of these, LARPing.
There are 2 thumbs up aggressively
LARPing.
pushed across the studio table by Tori.
Yeah. So,
It sort of takes us away from the tabletop aspect.
well, here's the thing, but I mean, it's
It is still.
gaming.
It is absolutely.
And if your table is to not be at the table, then
I
I mean,
fantastic.
it's the same thing.
I'm secretly enchanted by it all. It's one of those things that I just love to take in, but I could never. Anyway, back.
I couldn't do it.
Back to.
I admire those who can. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, I do too, but it's not on my bucket list. I would like going and watching one would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think so, right?
But I think there's YouTube that has that going on.
Sure, with like some better production value.
Yeah.
Like people are in their LARPing.
So, on that first story, which is just more like a blurb, in Irvington, Indianapolis. So this is in Indianapolis, y'all, which is where Katie and I basically are from. Malcolm's, you're there too. So, there's a park, and it's called Paul Ruster Park in Irvington. And it used to be there was a farm right next to it, and it was Kitley Farm.
Okay.
Now, in this park, the LARPers did play.
All right.
Very, very, very fine park.
And in this park, it's been a historic park. There's been a cemetery there. There's still a cemetery there. Not surprising. Way far out of my wheelhouse. In the 80s, they had LARPers in the park.
Okay.
And the LARPers got run out of Paul Ruster Park by spooky shit.
All right. So share, because that's intriguing.
First of all, the way that you said that sounded like it was an infestation.
Right.
They had some LARPers in the park. Real bad case of LARPers in the park. It was no. So anyway, so they were run out by.
They were run out by spooky shit. So
What's in my head when you say spooky shit, I just really shouldn't.
Spooky dookie.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess that's not specifically what happened.
Well, okay, so no, there's no spectral
No?
poop.
Okay, all right.
There was like EVPs.
Okay.
So if they're recording the game or whatever, there would be weirdness there. Every time they were in the forest, there would be really odd noises. Things would drop. Like, people would trip over stuff. The last straw was, there's a pond, and it's a fishing pond, and it's right next to the Kitley family farm where there's a little cemetery in it, right? Well, they're down by the lake for something, or pond for something, and they still see a little spectral boy playing the harmonica by the pond. And the LARPers, that was their last. They're like, nope, not here.
No LARP is worth this.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, I'm not in the situation, but what comes to my mind is like, fuck yeah, that's a hell of an adventure. The ghost just wanted to play.
No. Okay. Where I would have been found in 1980 whatever was driving past the people that were deciding whether they were still going to stay after the spooky shit in the woods. First of all, it's the woods. You're going to hear spooky things. Okay. I don't know that maybe there was another force of non-spectral things that didn't want the LARPers in. I'd like to dig into this further, but that's just where my mind goes. So that was spooky, and it was D&D related.
Yeah.
So there are intersections out there, but I imagine the Reddit was just terrible.
That one wasn't from a Reddit,
I know,
but yeah,
like,
I'm sure they were just like
searching.
Does anybody remember this?
Right. How quick do you get to Ouija boards? Like, I bet you.
I know, right?
Oh, it's that was the problem, was when I was trying to, like, no, go over here. Oh no.
So what if you roll the dice on the Ouija board?
Okay, that's just, now you're gonna.
Then that's how you have DM dice forever. The cursed die. Nay.
No. All right, so you have another story.
I do, and this one is another LARP. And this is the LARPing gone terribly wrong, and the flowers are still standing. And this one was one of Christie's stories. And it was, okay, we're Gen X, guys. Mm-hmm. This was...
In case nobody's picked up on that yet.
Yeah, right. This is the Murray vampire cult. Whoa. Murray, the Kentucky vampire cult that got busted in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
And
it was a vampire.
What did they get busted for?
Murder?
Uh-huh. I remember this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because they were out there killing people.
Well, they got it. It seems like they
LARPed a little too enthusiastically,
but it wasn't even LARP that did them in. It was it's a cult.
I know.
It might blame the LARPing when people are just out there colting it up.
Yeah,
you know.
But
like
and we've talked about vampire. It was a vampire,
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vampire game.
Yep, it was a vampire LARP, which people can go off the deep end real quick.
There's a documentary out there from the makers of the game that addresses some of the publicity that got.
Yeah.
At that time. Mm-hmm. That's horrible stuff, though.
Yep. And what happened was the leader of this was a kid who was just born, like, he was doomed to fail.
He was going to do bad shit.
He was going to do bad shit because his mom did bad shit.
Oh.
And then, yeah, he was threatened to have, his mom would pass him off to the grandparents, threatened to have somebody in her drug group kill Rod.
Wow.
This kid's name was Rod Farrell. He claimed that a cult had made a human sacrifice in front of him, had become one with all the members of the group.
Wild. So that's super
gross.
spooky stuff. That
he loved horror.
That's not LARPing.
No.
That's
no.
What I was going to say is, how did they, I mean, all of that's very nasty.
That's gross. And we've crossed into.
How did they pull VTM into it?
Hold on. So mom introduced him to vampires at a young age. Right? So he started playing vampire in his teenagers. He was in high school.
Which we did too.
Yeah.
But the media grabbed on to that with the goth aesthetic that was out there and were able to apply a little correlation to.
Well,
which is
and
sort of
he
why
met-
I'm trying to point out that, like,
He met-
we
hold
played
up, here we go.
vampires in high school too. That does not equate.
No.
going off the deep end.
But he met this guy named Stephen Murphy, otherwise known as Jaden, and he sired Farrell and crossed him over in January of 1996 in a cemetery.
Okay.
So here's where we get the theater. They had there was a rule to put family first, and it's their chosen family. He looked up to that Jaden guy as a father figure. He talked to him. Jaden felt challenged.
Which is, instead of LARPing, this is taking on the world of vampire as though it is a real world.
Yeah,
it's no longer role play.
Yeah, like this went out the
realm.
deep end.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Interesting stuff.
Yep. He just continued on smartly, kept going. He started his own family, ended up with 30 members.
Jeez Louise.
And he would make them drink his actual blood.
I remember hearing that.
He burned a small V in the member's arm after they drank his blood.
That's past spooky. That's just, yeah.
Gross. So, anyways, he met Farrell and Anderson were associated with VAMPS, which is Victorian Age Masquerade Performance Society.
There's your LARP tie-in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyways, he ended up meeting a girl. They ended up stealing her parents' car. They were only supposed to steal the car, and then he had decided that no, he was going to kill these parents.
He wanted to truly take it to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
And they ended up, and there was a place called the Vampire Hotel, which was one of those abandoned buildings. It's like the castle in Broad Ripple used to be.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I think the thing that hits me on this is that it's unfortunate these kinds of situations happen because, this is the kind of thing where people look to, say, the Satanic Panic, in the 80s.
Right.
And they grab onto these instances and say, see, it's evil. And when you take the percentage of people that end up in this situation and, if you could psychologically assess them, you recognize that this is not because of the game. This is because of other
if you have homicidal
issues,
tendencies.
This is game adjacent. This is not actual game based.
Right. But unfortunately, and they did at the time,
It fed into it.
They latched on to, Vampire the Masquerade was this horrible, evil game leading people to kill people like vampires.
No, it's just,
I remember that.
Yeah.
So
wild times. That's a wild story. And I remember the news coverage at the time, but I don't know. When we sat down and played that game, I didn't enter into it thinking a certain thing that I thought differently after I left. I think that we had a healthy game space, and unfortunately, I just think that was a story where some very maniacal shit was happening, and
they used it as an excuse.
And your subline there.
They did some horrible shit other than killing the parents.
yeah.
They broke into an animal shelter.
Yeah. Yep. Not good stuff.
No.
Wild. Well, where to pivot from there? Spooky
There's not
enough,
very
man.
those. They're not great, but
The haunted table was not as easily found as.
nope.
So we think I was going to say because immediately you're going to go to Ravenloft modules.
Right.
That's the first thing
It
that's going to pop up.
immediately drops you into spooky things. The best one shot to run on Halloween. I'm
Right,
like, no,
right, right.
motherfuckers.
No, I want to see
I don't
somebody
want a module.
haunted
You
at
want
the table.
I want
the
an
ghost
actual
rolling dice
story.
at your table.
So there you go. The story of the haunted dice tower will be something that maybe we'll find.
Yeah, we'll
another
find
time.
sometime.
Well, that's what we kind of had for this episode. What am I missing, guys? we're gonna be back next week with another episode. But in the meantime, I guess it's my job from the moderator to do things like plug our Patreon again. You can go out to wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria, and from there listen to all of our episodes, I believe,
except the bonus stuff,
except for the bonus stuff that you can only get at Patreon. But luckily for you, there's a button that will take you directly to our Patreon from our website.
It's a big fuzzy button.
Stay tuned for a lot of promotions going on, a lot of things that are happening on social media. Interact with us there. Tell us what you thought about the topics discussed on today's episode. And thank you guys so much for coming in, talking with me. Thank you all for listening. And until next time, anybody else?
See ya.
Roll for initiative.
All right. Yeah, I think that we'll go ahead and we'll end it there. And you guys have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.